There are certain things that it seems like good birders just don't do. My name's Derek, I've been birding for over 10 years and I've had the chance to go birding with some incredibly talented people out there. And it seems like there are certain actions that a lot of them have in common. So today we're gonna go over 5 things that good birders don't do. Now these might be things that they've just learned along the way, or it's just a difference from being a beginner to a more advanced birder. So I'm gonna walk around this nature center and tell you these 5 things. Number 1, good birders don't assume that they know everything. I think when you start out, you see these expert birders, you think they must have it all figured out. There must be no questions that they have left to ask. But I feel like the best birders I know are the most open to new ideas and open to learning new things. So if people come to them with a question, I feel like a lot of the time they're very open to it being something maybe they don't know. Maybe it's a vocalization they've never heard or an action they've never seen before. But I feel like having that open mind is really important in the birding world, especially when you're often getting just very obscured views of birds in the trees or just hearing the tail end of a vocalization. I think it's really important to have an open mind. And also if you're an experienced birder in your location, if you go to a new place, like a new country, you're kind of going to be starting over. So you can take the skills you have with you, you can do some research. Some of the things from groups of birds such as behaviors do translate somewhat, such as flycatchers and fly catching behavior. That's going to be similar from one place to another, but you kind of have to be open to, this is a new group of birds that I'm unfamiliar with, and then learn all over again. So I feel like that hunger for learning and that openness to not knowing everything is really important. Number 2, good birders don't give up easily. This is a massive difference I've noticed between beginner and advanced birders. I feel like with a lot of beginners, if they're looking for a rare bird or they're trying to find a species, they'll go to the place, maybe they'll spend 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, maybe even 3 hours looking for the bird they're searching for. And then if they don't see it, they'll say, oh, that's too bad, and they'll go home. But with advanced birders, I don't feel like they give up easily at all. They will be like, okay, the bird's not here where it was reported. What's a similar habitat I can check? And they'll go to those different places, they'll come back, they'll gather as much intel as possible. I feel like there's just a different level of determination and not giving up. And of course, that doesn't mean that you have to do that and put in all that work and effort. If you want to be more casual, that's totally fine. But I do feel like a lot of beginners, they just kind of give up rather quickly and are like, oh, well, I tried. Where the advanced birders, they're willing to put in a lot more time and effort to find what they're looking for. And also, once you've seen a lot of these species more than once, you do get a vibe for habitat. So you might go to an area with a certain type of prairie and be like, this would be perfect for this specific type of sparrow. You kind of feel that out. Or you might go, oh, it's this time of year, so this bird should be seen here soon. You kind of get a sixth sense for what birds should be in what place. And a lot of that just comes with time and learning those birds and seeing them and the habitats and all of that stuff. So it's not even just learning the birds too. I feel like good birders have a good grasp over the habitat, the habits, and where birds might be at a particular time. So just a different level of determination between those more advanced birders compared to the beginners. Number 3, good birders don't overuse their tools. There have been some incredible technological advancements for birders over the years, and one of them is the Merlin Bird ID app. So this is an app you can download, it's free. If I open it and hit this button, it'll try to tell me what birds it's hearing. So we have Indigo, Bunting, Song Sparrow, Red-winged Blackbirds. These are all the birds that Merlin is picking up in the environment. Now the issue with this is that some people will just see this and think that it's 100% correct on all these. Merlin does make mistakes. You should really be using this in the way where it is suggesting these are in the area, and then you are either hearing them yourself or actually seeing them. And some people will just open it up and they will say, I heard all these birds, when they didn't actually hear them themselves, just Merlin did. And what fun is that if the machine is hearing the birds and you're not? So if you're going out, you should use Merlin as a tool. What I like to do is if I go to a new area, I'll open it up, I'll see what it thinks it's hearing. If it has something of interest, then I'll try to pick it out by ear or get eyes on it, using it more like a suggestion. And the nice thing is it does record audio, so you can actually stop it. And if I want to see where it had the Indigo Bunting, I can click the magnifying glass here, and then it'll actually take where it heard that in the recording. So then you can listen to it and be like, oh, it actually did have that. But this is just what Merlin's hearing, so don't count that as what you're hearing and use it as a tool. Don't use it as just everything is correct. So there are a lot of different tools that you can use, such as eBird. That's another great one where you can find sightings and reports of certain birds. We've done tutorials on all these, and I'll link them in the description if you're interested in learning more. But good birders don't overuse their tools. They use them to help them. They don't let them do all the work and just say, okay, Merlin heard this. And that's actually a pet peeve for a lot of birders. When people put sightings in the eBird database, they say identified by Merlin or confirmed by Merlin. Just seems lazy. Go identify the birds yourself. Use these apps and guides as tools, but you should be the one actually confirming these things and learning. It's just more fun that way. Number 4, good birders don't overlook experiences. In your first year of birding, everything is new and it's super exciting because anywhere you go, there's a chance you can see new birds for the first time in your life. And I think it is awesome and amazing to just enjoy that experience of going to different places. But over the years, the more birding you do, the more you appreciate just the little experiences. So for example, sometimes people ask if you get sick of the common species, but the common species still do things you've never seen before. They behave in a way that you've never seen, or maybe they'll make a vocalization that you didn't know. So I feel like good birders really enjoy those experiences and just always have something that they're appreciative of or having gratitude for, or just a cool thing that they can go see no matter what the bird is. And another cool thing is just the quirky experiences you can have with birds. For example, where I live in Wisconsin, there's a place called Buena Vista Grasslands. You could actually rent a blind there in the spring, get there well before sunrise, and you hear the prairie chickens do this thing called booming. They make these interesting noises and do these incredible displays. Just having experiences like that. In your first year, you might be just busy getting kind of all the new birds, but I do feel like the best birders I know, they're always looking for new experiences or seeing something cool, even with species that people might overlook. And we have number 5, good birders don't rely solely on expensive gear. This is kind of a myth I feel like people think when they start, is that the type of gear you have makes the birder. And it's kind of the same as everything else, like musical instruments. If you gave Jimi Hendrix a broken down electric guitar, he'd still be able to play something amazing, versus if you gave it to a beginner. So a lot of it is just based on your experiences and how good you are with the equipment. Now there definitely is a difference between having some gear or gear that can get you a little bit closer. For example, like a binocular that's 8x42, it's gonna see 8 times closer than just your naked eye versus you just seeing alone. Now that's gonna make you a better birder by you're able to see closer. But if you have a $200 pair of binoculars versus like a $1,000 pair of binoculars and they still get you 8 times as close, that margin of getting better from the gear is smaller. So, you know, just having some gear that you're good with, it does what it needs to do. That's really all you need to get started with birding. Some birders I know, they don't have crazy expensive gear. They've had the same pair of binoculars for a number of years now and they just don't want to change because they like the way they feel in their hands. So it's not about having the most expensive gear. I see this with bird photographers too. They'll buy this really expensive lens setup and then it'll be too complicated for them and they'll kind of just get discouraged. So I would just start with what you have around, get something that helps you see a little bit closer, and then learn how to use it. If you really love the hobby, then start to invest in more expensive gear. But like I said, some of the best birders I know don't use crazy expensive stuff. It's just the stuff that they like or that they've had for a long time. It's more about the birder than it is about the gear. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know other things that good birders don't do in the comments below. And also, if you want to support us, you can sign up for our donation page or join our email list so you never miss an update from us. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Badgerland Birding.